Hello again and welcome to Mike's Garden. To our new subscribers, thank you very much. And to those who haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Today we will be showcasing the Philodendron erubescens Red King. This is one beautiful plant. It may share some similarity with the Rojo Congo. Or what's the difference between a Prince of Orange and the Red King? The biggest and most glaring difference between a Red King, pulang hari, at ang Prince of Orange ay ang hugis po ng dahon. Ang dahon po ng Red King ay medyo pahaba, narrower compared po sa broadleaf na Prince of Orange. Now, how do you care for a Red King? Just like all the other plants under the species erubescens, they have practically the same care and management. And in the previous episode, we mentioned about Rojo Congo or the Red Congo. So the Rojo Congo, the Red King, the Prince of Orange have practically the same care and management. Now, for the lighting requirement, just to repeat, medium indirect light is recommended because this plant loves the shade. And what about water? Moderate watering, but you have to water thoroughly and let the soil dry out between waterings. Dry out. How would you know that the soil has totally dried out? Well, everybody's talking about the finger test. All you need to do is dip your finger an inch or two down below and find out whether the soil is still moist or not. Or you can get a moisture meter. This moisture meter can determine the amount of moisture you have in your soil. All you need to do is dip it under there and it will give you an accurate reading of the moisture content of the soil. And I don't know how much this would cost in your area, but here in Australia it is about $11 or $12 each. I'm not promoting the moisture meter, but if you want convenience, all you need to do is get a moisture meter. So, repotting the Red King, well, you can repot your Red King when it has totally outgrown the pot where you have initially planted it, and that will take about 2 or 3 years. Let's talk about misting. I would not strongly recommend that you mist the plant because the plant is very susceptible, or the leaves are very susceptible to bacterial growth or fungi or fungi development. And if you have seen those yellow dots growing on the leaves of your plant, rest assured you have cultured some bacteria or some strain of fungus has developed on the leaves of your plant. Well, if that happens, just cut it off. That's the way to eradicate it in the first place. So I guess that's about how you take good care of your Red King, just like any other philodendron under the species erubescens. Very easy. The next plant that we will showcase on Mike's Garden are 3 of my prayer plants. And why are they called prayer plants? There is only one reason why they have earned the moniker prayer plant, because the leaves actually fold up at night in prayer. The plant's leaves are folded up, but not all of them. Those who are very sensitive to humidity will probably do that. Now, there are 3 specific plants that we will showcase. Ito po ang Calathea Dotty. And as you can see this one, this is very specific red burgundy front and back of the leaf. This Dotty is one of my favorites of all Calatheas. It took me a while to really acquire one of this, but I finally did, and I am happy for acquiring my Dotty. Why I'm showing you this tree today is because the underleaf are really deep red, maroon, burgundy. You see that one? That's why I have showcased these three plants, because they are lush and lovely to look at this time of year. When winter comes, that's a different story. So that's the Dotty, and this one is the Calathea majestica sanderiana. Care of this Calathea is practically the same as the Dotty. No difference. Just like this big one, this one is the Calathea illustris. Plant care for the illustris and the Dotty and the majestica sanderiana are all the same. But today I would like to really focus on two very important care, because prayer plants are very difficult plants, especially in the subtropical and temperate countries where humidity is inconsistent. Unlike in the tropics, your humidity is consistent all throughout the year. In temperate countries and in subtropical countries, we have variable humidity and the plants suffer a lot. And how does the plant suffer? When there is lack of humidity or there is lack of moisture in the air, the plants exhibit some browning of the leaf. The browning of the leaf is normally located in the periphery, in the outline of the leaf. The lack of humidity problem is exhibited when the outer margins of your leaf starts to brown. And when that happens, you can be sure that you have a humidity problem, or the lack of humidity, or the humidity in your area is very low. So that is one, humidity. And the next problem that the next thing that I would like to impart in this episode is water. These plants, the prayer plants in general, are very sensitive to chlorine and fluoride. In South Australia, where I am broadcasting from, we have chlorine and fluoride in our tap water, in our faucets. So what do I normally do? Well, I cannot afford to have bottled water every now and then just to feed them a drink. I would actually get a bucket, a drum, fill it with water, let it stand for a few days. Some people would recommend let it stand for 24 hours for chlorine to dissipate. True, that happens, but when you have a large volume of water, like a drum...
My apologies. I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, sorry, Siri. I'm not talking to you. Now, some of you would probably realize that when you have that problem of humidity, or when you have the problem when you don't have the water to feed your plants when they are thirsty, you have the tendency to just get it from the tap. That is dangerous to your plants, because your plants will exhibit some burning and some browning, and that is what we call a chemical burn. This chemical burn can be exhibited at the tip of the plants. You would normally see this. Hey, that is totally unavoidable, because in South Australia, where I am broadcasting from today, aside from chlorine in our tap water, we also have fluoride. And my God, fluoride is very hard to eradicate in the normal way, in the normal procedure I am doing it. What I am doing actually is I have several buckets. I have several of them, drums around the house. and I fill them up with water and I let it stand in open air for a few days. Not only 24 hours, for a few days I let it stand. And that guarantees that the chlorine evaporates or dissipates. But fluoride is one chemical, one compound that is really very hard to get rid of in drinking water. So that is why I have always mentioned this, that I envy the tropical regions of the world because they have rainwater most of the time of the year. Year round they have rain, and rainwater is the best drink you can give your prayer plants. Another shortcut is around your plant, group them together, because the plant at night, when you're asleep, the plant actually transpire, or literally they perspire, which means you would see some droplets of water coming out of the leaves, and that is the process of transpiration. And when you group the plants together and they transpire, you're actually also increasing the humidity in that umbrella. Did you get what I mean? Prayer plants are divas, mate. They are absolutely very, very sensitive to humidity and water quality. So self-draining soil is already given, all right? But aside from that, you have two problems: humidity and water quality. If you can meet your humidity and your water quality requirements, you can be sure that your prayer plants will thrive healthily. Okay? And of course, with the expertise that you have, that you know how to take care of plants. Well, I think that's about it today on Mike's Garden, and I really hope you learned one or two in today's episode. And for those who haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. See you again on Mike's Garden.